back day, right?
Yeah.
Or pull day. Like I mentioned in the last video, slightly unusual in the fact that my pull day, I do my triceps as opposed to my biceps. If you want to know why, I'm not re-explaining that. Just watch yesterday's video. We're gonna do triceps today first because lately I've been doing them afterwards, and I really want to bring my triceps up, so I want to put that intensity towards that. I feel kind of, because like I didn't get the best sleep last night. I just went to bed later than I should have. I only went to bed at like I think like 12:30, 12:45, I guess. But I usually get up at like 6:10. My routine in the morning, I get up anywhere between like 6 to 6:30. Take some L-carnitine orally. And I do my cardio fasted. Usually I get up, and my cardio is, I do like 10 sprints with my dog, so he gets to get some exercise in. And it's like intense, but it's not super intense. Like I'm not like, busting ass like I would back when I was playing football, because not really trying to, harm myself. And then I go back, shower, eat my meal around like 7. And then I, either on the couch or in bed, I take a nap until like 8:30, 8:45, and then it's time for my second meal, and then I go about my day. In terms of like cardio, I do mine fasted. I like to try and do it fasted. I think it's splitting hairs. Like, there's definitely benefits depending on like if you're supplementing certain things. But as a whole, in general, even then, it's still splitting hairs. Although I'm kind of probably autistic, and so I like doing the things that split hairs if I'm able to. Kind of like how I think Chase was talking about. Yeah, Chase made a video talking about like trying to avoid like painkillers and things like ibuprofen and anti-inflammatories, because they technically reduce your ability to hypertrophy, because all that stuff is causing inflammation to the muscle, and that's what causes growth. And reduction of the inflammation is supposedly gonna reduce your body's response. But again, splitting hairs. But as he said, and as I'm saying, I'm probably kind of autistic, and so I don't mean that negatively. I don't mean that negatively at all. Not at all. But, so, yeah. That's what I do with my cardio. And then my only other, like, cardio that I do is, on top of that, a total of 15,000 steps a day. I might do another session like that later in the day. And then the only day that I have like reduced activities, I don't do any fasted stuff in the morning on my leg days, just because I don't really want to. And then on my leg days, I might reduce my steps to like 13,000. So, but yeah. And also, as I was making my intro drink today, it like made me think of like a few videos I've seen on TikTok of like people talking about like, bodybuilders and like gym people, like, oh, you're health oriented, and yet like all you eat is like powders. Like I think TNF made a video on that, and it's like, yeah, I see what you could think when my intro drink is, which by the way I'm supposed to start sipping, has probably 200 grams of weight of various powders. I've got my carb powder, my Gatorade. Wow. My creatine, my EAAs, a little bit of hydroprime. I'm probably forgetting something that's in there. But it's like, yeah. Like I could totally see how somebody like watches a gym guy just consume powder after powder, and your instant reaction just be like, oh, that's not healthy. But you actually like look at the labels and like look at what things are. It's like, okay, one of the powders is creatine. You literally get that from eating meat. Most research supplement ever. And then like you get your pre-workout, and you've got various ingredients to help with your pump. And like people just read it, and it's like, oh, I can't even pronounce that. It's like, all right, well, I can't even pronounce Worcestershire sauce, so that doesn't mean it's gonna harm you if you fucking ingest it. I can pronounce breast milk though. That I can pronounce well. But so that's that little spiel. Let's get with the questions. Here, make sure you do it into the mic.
Favorite movie and TV show?
Favorite movie and TV show? Yeah. Ah, dude, that's hard. Yeah, get out of the camera, man.
Sorry.
Hey, Ben, crop his ass out. Oh, somebody got pulled over. Favorite movie and TV show? Dude, that's hard. That's hard. I'm gonna come back to that. Because I gotta think. Because there's a lot of good ones. Go to the next one.
Dream car?
Dream car? I'm really happy with the car I have right now. I'm not gonna lie. I love it. Dream car, again, there's like so many ways I could answer it. I think like the most practical answer that I could give to that question is probably like a plaid Tesla, simply just because, you know, obviously the affordability of being electric, and then they're really fun to drive. But that's if I'm like being practical. If I'm thinking like, oh, like what's my dream car as like a soccer mom, probably like a Trackhawk, like a Jeep Trackhawk. Like, you know, you got your 2 or 3 rows of seats, fuck ton of horsepower. It's fun. Dude, I don't know. I like classic muscle cars. I also like, you know, modern sports cars. I'm a car guy. I love the engines and the gas and the petrol. All right, next question.
How do you eat while on vacation?
I feel like I answered that, but maybe somebody DM'd me that. I don't know. But on vacation, I just stick to my plan. Yeah, I answered it yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Stick to plan. You don't have to. That's just what I like to do. It's obviously inconvenient, but I prep. I go to the store. I buy the things I need. I might simplify my diet to still fit my macros. But, all right, next question.
Height. Your height.
Like just my height?
Yeah, how tall you are.
Like 5'2", something like that.
Gotcha. Sustainable progression, like the time range for cutting from like 13% to 8% body fat.
I'll be honest, off the top of my head, I can't really like picture that in terms of like percents of body fat. But in terms of like pounds per week, you know, not taking into consideration the water fluctuation, I would say 2 pounds per week is probably the most sustainable relatively. I mean, it depends. I'm personally working, when I got to work with TNF, it made me a big fan of the idea of harsh mini cuts, because if you do them right, you know, increase your training stimulus, have adequate protein intake, have adequate fat intake, yada yada yada. If you do them right, it allows you to spend a lot less time in that strict phase and be a lot more efficient with your time of, you know, just trimming off fat and be able to get back into a surplus state.
Does a pump matter for growth?
How many questions are left?
Just one more after this one.
All right, we'll answer those on the way home.
All right.
A little edge. I want to do these overhead like skull crushers, but they're low-key mad fucking difficult to set up, having the cable down low and picking it up, and so we're doing the pull up the butt cheeks method. That's way too late. Is this what I had it on?
What's up?
Is this what I had it on?
You had it at 130.
Okay.
That was too light, so like 160 probably.
It's fucking awkward doing it off to the side. There we go. Hey. Ah, damn. I tired. Fucking fatigued. All right, the crop top's on because I forgot my other pump cover, so we're gonna have to try and sweat less today because we're running low on shirts. But good old finisher for triceps, simply because I've said it before, I'll say it again. Your grip isn't limiting you, and also, like, I don't know about you guys, maybe I'm just a bitch. Whenever I do any type of pull down movement or tricep movement, to some extent, I can feel, you know, my upper back, my rear delts working on, you know, stabilizing my arms so I'm not sitting there swinging it and I'm just keeping stable and just using my triceps. So this takes all of that shit out of it, and it's just purely triceps. Maybe like a little bit of chest if you're kind of like fucking up the form, but I wouldn't even know how to word it, how to like describe to somebody how to target their triceps and not their chest. You just gotta kind of play with it. I find that sometimes like overemphasizing the lockout really helps me, and I almost try and think of it as if, you know, my goal is not to just push the weight down, but my goal is to, you know, let my elbows drift out of the line of you know, movement, and then just simply use my triceps to squeeze my elbows back, up, under, but if anybody wants a free workout program, get me a custom-made shirt that says breastfed motherfucker like me. 3 or 4XL only. I gotta poop. Just a little bit. $510, $300, natty. Dude. All right, pool day went pretty good. Kind of like blew a lot of energy on triceps. Did a lot of triceps, a little more than usual, but kind of need it. I accidentally grabbed the wrong shirt, so I'm wearing this as my car shirt as opposed to like an oversized and not a hoodie when it's hot as balls. But I didn't record a good bit of the end of the workout because I'm not gonna lie, I got in a little bit of a bad mood, and I just didn't really want to record. I was already like kind of like pissed off, so I was like, I'm just gonna do my thing, just stay in a rhythm. The stuff that I didn't record, I did some close grip pull downs, lat focused with a whatever it's called, the grip where your palms facing your face, supinated. And then we did some lat pullovers. I think there was something else I'm forgetting, but my blood sugar started to crash. We were there for like
3.5.
Nah, less than that. But we were there for a while, and I can feel my blood sugar being low. So I gotta go do cardio later, anyways. So I'll probably go to like my apartment gym and just throw in a few sets of some rows just to finish off. So that's that. But anyways, I think there was like 2 questions or so that we didn't get to from the car right here. What are the questions?
Does pump matter for growth?
Does pump matter for growth? No. I think it's a good indicator of certain things. Like, for example, it can be a little bit of an indicator in terms of like when you're on your bulk of, your insulin sensitivity and stuff like that. As you start pounding back useless amounts of food and just really skewing your insulin sensitivity, your pumps might not be as great. So like, I would say, the quality of the pump is, something to be mindful of, as it can be a helpful indicator for, various things and reasons, but the pump isn't what causes growth. As much as I love the clip of Jay Cutler with the, I always judge my workouts by the quality of the pump and, the roundness of the muscle. It's not what dictates growth. Mechanical tension is what's gonna, cause hypertrophy. TNF has a video where he explains it like a lot more in depth and a lot better, but short answer, no. So, next question.
Opinions on low volume and high intensity?
Low volume and high intensity?
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's the most optimal way to go about it. I will say, especially as far as newer lifters go, I think, like, without getting too complicated with things, the intensity that you're putting into your working sets is going to be relatively more important than your choice of volume. For example, like there's certain movements and certain muscles and slow twitch, fast twitch, whatever, where a 6 to 8, 8 to 10 rep range is going to be more viable, more useful than a 15 to 20 or a 10 to 15 or anything higher. But if you're just like, if you're a newer lifter and you're doing that 6 to 8, but it's just like half-ass and like whatever, you're not sweating, you're not looking like you're gonna shit yourself. Whereas if you were to like, be able to just mentally enjoy it and do like a 10 to 15 or a 15 to 20 rep set, and you're just, those last 5 reps you're like about to shit yourself. That in the end, that intensity is going to, progress you a lot more than over worrying about, what rep range should I be in? Because you could complicate it, you could nitpick things, and there's certain muscle groups and types of muscle fibers and muscle fiber domination and all, like you could get super complicated with it and anal about it and super precise about what specific exercises you apply certain rep ranges to. But all of that's kind of meaningless if you're not applying the intensity. And I'll be honest, like, most of my stuff I tend to usually do like in the 6 to 8, 8 to 10 rep range. But there's some days and even some movements during a day where I'm like, I'm just not feeling this, and I just mentally, I'm gonna enjoy this in the sense of I'm gonna be able to put a lot more effort and energy and intensity into this, going for a little bit higher, like a 10 to 15 rep set, and that's going to be a lot more productive towards your growth. Just because in the end, like, if you're not fucking working hard, if you're not pushing yourself, you're not gonna grow anywhere near as much. Like, yeah, having an optimal science-based like workout plan can be beneficial if you're doing it right. But if you just find some coach and pay him and have him send you like world's best, workout plan and super optimal and super science based, but you're just going in there half-assing it and putting low effort and like you're just doing your reps and just going through the motions, you're gonna be a small little fuck, and you're gonna grow a lot better going in there and winging it and doing whatever the fuck you want, doing 10 reps on one thing, 20 reps on another thing, 30 reps on another thing. If each one of those sets you're like fighting like you're gonna die, because it's that intensity. Ideally, apply intensity in a more ideal, optimal way, but intensity should be your number one thing to learn how to apply before you start complicating your angles of joints and all that shit. So, optimal science-based lifting is very beneficial. However, if you're lifting like a pussy, you can be as smart about it as you want. If you're not going hard, if you're not ego lifting, as somebody might like to say, you're not gonna grow. If you're gonna science-based lift, you should ego lift those optimal lifts.
Don't miss the forest for the trees.
That's crazy. I don't remember letting you have a line in the script. All right, see you guys.